So on my YouTube channel, I've been talking about sister wives for a while, and my husband and I, for 2 years, have been saying that this is not about COVID. These rules are not about COVID. We were actually very COVID precautious because my mother-in-law lives with us, and she's got a ton of health problems, and like a really big cold has sent her to the hospital. And then we've got a young son who's like a germ factory. So we were very cautious because we knew that if any of us caught it, he would catch it, she would catch it, and she might not make it. I mean, that's a high risk. So we were actually very COVID cautious, but we've always said that these rules for Kody were not about COVID. They were about control, always from the beginning. And we have been for seasons pointing out all of his inconsistencies. When he wanted to go to Janelle's mother's funeral, he was like, oh, I can go. But then they couldn't do certain holidays, and then they had tests, but the tests weren't sufficient. And so that was a whole big deal. And then, of course, this season has been nothing but hypocrisy with the whole, like, truly has to be tested in order to come over and visit. But Kody can go to a wedding and dance with strangers. Kody, all last season, they had no problem doing the interviews in a sealed building with other people, but they couldn't come in the house, or very seldom come in the house, or, you know, Janelle and Christine couldn't, and Christine would say, but we're following all of the CDC, but that's not good enough. And then, you know, the real kicker is his kids are back at school, but they can't hug Truly, and it's like, Truly's, as far as I could tell, wasn't even going to school at that time. They were moving to Utah, which had a different whatever, but his kids could go to school, which is a germ factory, but they couldn't, but then they couldn't hug Truly goodbye. But then McKelty and Tony could come over with their baby, and everyone could hug them and kiss them and play with them, but they couldn't hug Truly. And it's just, to me, it's just been, maybe there was a small time where it was about COVID, but it very quickly became, if you're not going to do things my way, we're going to withhold, and we're going to use COVID as an excuse. And it just drives me nuts. But it drives me nuts that he just kind of gets to scoot through, and it's like not everyone's like pointing and going, shame, shame. How dare you tell Truly that she can't come over and visit, but the kids can go to school? How dare you tell them that they can't hug Truly goodbye, and all that. So I'm mad about that. I'm very mad about that.